Hi, my animated steam train asset uses physics to simulate the train movement on tracks. And this is not compatible with the sequencer, so you cannot animate train movement inside sequencer. In this video, I want to show you a workaround so you can keyframe animate the steam train inside the sequencer. And here's the result. Let's get started. Let's add a new level sequence. Click here, add new level sequence. Now let's drag and drop the BP locomotive into the scene and also drag it into the sequencer. Now click on this plus icon, then path, new binding, and select the BP railway blueprint. So this is the railway spline that we have in the scene. We can see the train teleports to the first point of the spline. In order to correct the rotation, right click on the path, then edit selection, and here you can select the right axis, which is -x in this case. Now if I move the cursor, we see that the locomotive moves along the spline. Let's say I want the movement to start from here, so I'll move the cursor to around this point, click here to add a keyframe, delete the last one, move this to the start frame, and do the same for the end frame. Let's say I want the train to stop around here. Add a new keyframe and move it to the end. Here we have the train movement. We can also change the key interpolation here to make it more smooth. To animate the wheelbase, you can click here on the plus icon, select the skeletal mesh, hit the plus icon again, select animation, set it up so it covers the whole timeline. Now the problem is that the animation plays regardless of the movement speed. We can animate this as well. Right click on the animation, edit selection. Here we have animation, playback, and for the play rate, set this to play rate curve. Now we can also keyframe animate the play rate. Add a keyframe here, make this 0. Let's say here I add 0.5. Let's say here make it 1 and do the opposite in the end. 1.5. I'm doing this to make the movement more smooth. And let's test it. So the wheels start turning too late. Okay, this works correctly now. Let's add the tender. Drag and drop it into the sequencer. Click plus, path, BP railway. And here we need to do some math. Also right click on the path, edit selection, front axis set to -x as well. Now we need to copy the position of the locomotive. So at the start frame, the path is this. Copy it and paste it into the tender path. And we need to manually adjust the position. Let's say 15. No, that's too much. This is perfect. Now we need to know the difference of these two numbers. Copy the first number, then the second number, copy this number, or just save it, because we need to do the same thing for the last frame. So let's move the cursor to the last frame, copy this, paste it into the tender path. Okay. And again, I remember the difference, copy the difference and subtract it from this number. Okay, this way the carriage stays attached to the locomotive. Now let's add another wagon, add it also to the sequencer, plus path BP railway, correct the axis, okay. Let's calculate the distance. We select the locomotive path, copy this number and the passenger path, subtract it from the previous one and remember the difference. Now move to the last frame, copy this into the passenger path and just subtract this number. And keyframe it. Now to add some shakiness to the wagon, we can select the SM locomotive here, click plus, add the transforms, open up the transforms. Inside the rotation, we can override the roll with double purlin noise. So just right click on it. This will make the wagon shake. Now the only thing left to do is to animate the wheels. Now in order to do that, we need to tweak the blueprint a little bit. So let's go to the content browser, open up a blueprints folder, inside parents, open the carriage. Here inside the construction script, if you can't find it, it's here. Let's select all the wheels, drag and drop into construction script. Now drag from here and add local rotation. Hook all the wheels into the target. And for the delta rotation, we're gonna split this struct. So right click on it, split struct pin, we need to rotate the pitch only. So left click on it, promote to a variable, and we're going to call this variable wheel rotation. Save. Now, in order to have this inside the sequencer, we will need to check expose to cinematics and also instance editable. Then go to class settings, check run construction script in sequencer, compile, and just to make things easier for us, we are gonna disconnect all the blueprint logic inside event graph. So let's disconnect all these events, compile, save. Let's also disconnect all the events inside the BP locomotive. We only need to disconnect the event tick, here this branch, and the set on track. Compile, save, go back to the level, and here we can animate the wheels. So let's start with this wagon. I'm gonna click on the passenger blue, click plus, wheel rotation. Now I'm gonna move to the first frame, add the keyframe, move to about here, and set the correct rotation. In this case, it's gonna be -1000. We can also add another keyframe here, move to the last frame and set this to 0 to make it smoothly stop. Now we will need to do the same thing for the tender. Plus wheel rotation. Add a keyframe at the first frame. Here I'm gonna add -1000. Go to the last keyframe and make it 0. And that's it. We keyframe animated the steam train. Thanks for watching.